We got real news for you.
Politics and culture and entertainment too, from a Marxist point of view. So open up your holes and listen through the news.
Listen to the news. Is that what you think it says now?
It's been a while since we sang that song, so I forgot.
It has been.
So lube up for the news. Yeah.
So lube up for the news.
Lube up for the news.
There you go. You got it. Good harmony there.
Thank you.
You got it, dude. Yeah, it's been a while since we did real news. It's good to be back here in real news land, even though none of the news is ever good, really.
None of the news is good.
So we're actually going to open up on a bright spot here. A little story starts with the headline here. This one's from Como News, our local news station, written by Jackie Kent. Says Starbucks could be forced to reopen 8 Seattle area stores. So 8 previously shuttered Seattle area Starbucks stores could be reopening soon following a complaint from the National Labor Relations Board, the NLRB, which alleges that the coffee giant unlawfully closed 23 union and non-union stores nationwide. As part of the complaint, the board council is seeking an order for Starbucks to reopen the stores, offer union workers their jobs back, and other remedies to compensate employees for their financial losses. 7 of the stores are in Seattle and 1 is in Everett. An NLRB spokesperson said in an emailed statement to Como News that the Starbucks closed the unionized stores without giving the union a chance to bargain that decision. Quote, the complaint is the largest confirmation of Starbucks' determination to illegally oppose workers organizing, a Starbucks union member wrote in a news release, continuing, it adds to the litany of complaints detailed in the company's own report released this morning. If Starbucks is sincere in its overtures in recent days to forge a different relationship with its partners, this is exactly the kind of illegal behavior it needs to stop.
Yeah.
In response, Starbucks denied wrongdoing. I'm going to skip their bullshit.
Yeah.
Claims.
Yeah, obviously they're wrong.
Yes.
Like, it's, yeah, I mean, and this, I'm glad to see like the unions actually like swinging some power, and because that's one thing that's been, unions have been the target and depowered for since Reagan, and so where like early 40 years ago, like a union would not even allow these stores that had closed in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
and so like the fact that union power is growing again and they were able to reverse these decisions is fantastic.
I mean, they're looking to reverse the decision.
Yeah, looking to reverse
they filed. We don't have a decision quite yet.
Yeah.
But it has been filed, and they do have a very legitimate claim. This has been a shoe that's been waiting to drop for quite a while, because they have been closing these stores over the past 2 or 3 years as Starbucks workers have tried to unionize, and a lot of them, they said it was for like safety concerns and stuff like that. And a lot of these were like urban stores, but like the thing about safety concerns is that's a reason why we have unions, is unsafe workplace practices. So if you don't have a safe workplace environment, you have to figure out steps to make it that way.
Are they also claiming what Target's claiming, is that there's too much theft and danger?
We'll get to that in a later article.
Yeah, because
we will get to that in a later article. Because there's a funny
thing. I feel that's one thing that they're probably trying to claim is this like, well, it's so dangerous operating a business downtown. All the crime. All that kind of bullshit.
Yeah,
and it's just that's clearly nonsense. Especially it's like trying to find like some bullshit reason to close the store, and also like stoke further fires that like, oh, downtown is a lawless hellhole.
Yeah, and like it's also a food desert now too, which doesn't help anybody.
Yeah, just like, oh, the downtown's so ridden with crime that it's just like, it's not because these workers are trying to create establish some sort of power in their own workplace and decision making. No, it's because like, oh, it's like there's so much evil danger downtown. There's too many dangerous drug users and crime people like
Crime people.
Crime people.
Oh, I hate them crime people. What's your thought on crime persons?
The crime persons.
Oh, we call them persons of crime now, not criminals, all right? We don't use that derogatory language about these people.
But yeah, like their claims are very transparent, and it's just like, you know, and I feel like, you know, if you go downtown Seattle now, you can kind of see like a lot of places are closed, but it's just like, and I do feel it's very orchestrated by people to just like create this narrative that like downtown's unsafe or something.
And this is an organization that like owns a lot of their stores and can open and close them, and they did close them as an organization.
Yeah.
And this is an organization that can keep a lot of stores open, operating at a loss because it's made up for by other stores. And they do it for like brand recognition and, you know, like, you know, being part of an area.
Oh yeah, like even like I used to always laugh. Like I think there was one part in downtown right near like where Amazon campus is. You can look in one direction and see 3 Starbucks.
Yeah,
like you could see there's like you could see 3 separate Starbucks all in one field of view. It's just like, I mean, they did open a lot.
Yeah. They did oversaturate their market for sure.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're not closing like any of the oversaturated ones, or they didn't really. Like the ones they closed were in very high traffic areas, like the one at Westlake Center.
Yeah.
The one up at Roosevelt Square.
Oh, really? That one?
Yeah, the one on Broadway and Denny. So I used to live right near that one, and that one wasn't like unsafe or anything. It was like next to a Mexican restaurant that's been doing just fine since.
Yeah.
The Union Station one, which that one was a little sketchy, I'm not gonna lie. And then the one on East Olive Way there in Capitol Hill. Near the like the Goodwill and stuff. Yeah.
Like, didn't they end up closing? Or I know there was some union activity at the Starbucks, like the specialty Starbucks, like the fancy one.
Yeah, I think
Like
that
in
actually
Capitol
went
Hill?
through. I think
Yeah.
I think it was just the baristas or the roasters or something. I don't think it was the entire staff. But
Yeah. Can't remember what that
know
place is
some
called.
of
I've never been
them-
in there.
I
I'm not a
think-
big Starbucks fan.
the roastery's not bad, honestly. They've got a lot of different types of beans and like some good roasts up in there. And I'm not gonna lie, I've had some fucking magnificent coffee up in that biatch. No, they're legit. I'd recommend it. I don't know. Take a date. Take your person friend.
My lady.
Yeah, but lots of place closed. Hopefully they'll open back up.
Yeah. Just like, it's clearly attempt to destroy the union activity in those stores. So
Diminish worker power. They
power.
want like control over their employees, and they also want their employees to be easily replaceable, which is something that's very shitty to do.
Yeah.
But that's how corporation works.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they deserve it because, Seattle's just getting more expensive, and so if they actually want people to, be working, barista jobs, they want people at their stores, got to pay them what they deserve, got to pay them to live.
Yep. What they deserve.
Fucking nothing.
Yeah, that's what corporations believe.
Yeah, that's what they believe. Yeah,
That's
it's
not what I
these
believe.
people, they should be paying us to work.
Yeah, for the experience. They're getting valuable job experience. You know how good Starbucks looks on a resume? Hey, put that on your resume, huh?
Put that on your resume.
Fucking our shared boss, the worst boss I've ever had, maybe you too, used to say
He was really bad. Yeah.
used to say that at our team meetings all the time. Like he was like, "We doing this, we doing this. We're the top sales in the entire company. Put that on your resume, huh?"
Yeah.
And it's like, why aren't we getting paid anything? Like, and our fucking raises were like, or the maximum raise we could get a year was 5%.
Yeah.
Without getting a promotion, which really sucks when, the rate of inflation has been more than 5% consistently for the past decade.
I know. I think one time I got like a 25-cent raise. I was like, sick. All right. Well, better not spend all that in one place,
Super duper. Yeah, right. Neat. Let's move on to some real bad news.
Oh,
real
God.
bad news. The U.S. vetoed the UN resolution backed by many nations demanding immediate humanitarian ceasefire.
Not just
in
many
Gaza.
nations,
Almost
all of the
all of them.
others, except for the United Kingdom, who abstained.
Abstained, yeah.
But it's like, it just goes to show like the derangement of this of the backing of Israel is strictly an American thing.
Yeah.
No, like there are some countries that don't even recognize a passport from them.
Yeah. I wouldn't.
I wouldn't. It's just like, and it just also goes to show just like how everyone else is completely aligned that what they are doing is just war crimes.
Mm-hmm.
They are committing a genocide.
Yeah.
And it's something that we are refusing to back away from. None of our world leaders, even though it's widely unpopular with the majority of the population, a ceasefire is endorsed.
It's very popular.
Is very popular.
It's endorsed by like 60 or 70% of people, which is a pretty bipartisan issue. Almost as popular as abortion.
Our representative government, if you still get the people that represent us, just going by the way they vote and the way and who they endorse in their public life, and then you see our UN representative up there and just like, no, you would think like, oh, we are 100% behind Israel, which is not true at all.
No,
and it just goes to show like we're not actually represented by anyone who has us or our desires and wants in their mind.
Yeah, my girlfriend had a falling out with their friend over this whole issue. They're like pro-Zionism, and call themselves like pro-Zionist as though it's like an okay thing, which is weird.
It's literally fascism.
Yeah, it really kind of is.
It's racist fascism, and it's and there's no other way around it, and that's kind of what I really dislike about this whole situation is they're trying to use queer identities as a shield from their
They're
stuff.
trying to use everything in the book, everything in the liberal playbook to fucking flower up their their shinier, brighter fucking war.
Yeah, and even though
genocide.
Gay marriage is not recognized in Israel,
no,
you cannot perform it there.
Nope.
That doesn't stop them from being like, oh no, this is a war to fight for LGBTQ.
It's like fucking Afghanistan was for women's rights.
Yeah, exactly. It's for women's rights, but it's clear. You take away all the other things about this, and it's clearly a material issue. Israel wants that land. They want, and the people that are in the way are the native
people who live there
the native
forever.
population. And so they clearly want their waterfront properties to build more DJ discotheque pizza places.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's just
I'm just expecting basically a full-scale genocide, and then in 50 years they'll start doing land recognitions towards Palestinians.
Yes, yeah, that's honestly where it's going, because they're going to literally murder them all, and we have no one, hardly anybody that represent us.
Dick Durbin, baby.
Dick Durbin,
it's the only senator
trying to actually have some sort of sanity with this situation, because but that's the thing. We won't back away from it, because Israel is it's our military base in the Middle East.
Yep.
It's a
sphere of influence.
It's a sphere of influence.
It is our military in the Middle East. It's our proxy military.
Yeah. It's a white what's the word I'm looking for? Ethnostate. It's what they're pretty much establishing. They're establishing a white ethnostate in the Middle East, and it's really telling, by the fact that we had, a large number of South African apartheid guys converted to Judaism, because that's one
You're
thing.
doing air quotes, by the way.
Yeah, because there's many Jews who say Zionism is actually antithetical to the Jewish faith, you know, because Zionism is actually was like a very fringe belief that grew, you know, just like as you know right wing capitalism and neoliberalism has taken over America.
I mean, because it is a direct result of capitalism and right wing neoliberalism.
Yep.
Is, you know, it has all of those hallmarks, the things the Republican Party like mask off would really like to be.
Yes.
You know, they want to, you know, have a fucking race war.
Yeah. And what better way to do it than slowly purge. And I think like what, you know, October 7th really did is like kind of like show like that they were really just doing a slow genocide because it's silent. You know, it's quiet. It doesn't make the news.
It's like laying siege on a prison. It's
laying
like
siege on a prison. Yeah.
It's like the prison doesn't have like active available resources for any of the people in it. So like laying siege
food,
on it,
no clean water.
Right.
Like basically, and they're basically being bombed back to the Stone Age on a daily basis.
They don't know if they can trust aid because aid comes with spies and shit.
Yep. And so like they're fully fine just making these people just do like the thing that's not in the news. You know, it goes under the radar, you know, and that's, they were playing a long game because, you know, 20, 30 years they're going to be completely wiped out. You know, that was the plan.
Then they'll start doing land acknowledgements.
Yeah, land acknowledgements.
Like, yeah, we recognize, you know, before we have this white ethno-state meeting that, you know, we are on Palestinian land.
We are on Palestinian, yeah, and now that's why, and you know, we have like, you know, a discotheque pizza place, and you know, and where there used to be like the oldest Catholic church, second oldest Catholic church in the world. You know, it's just like it's just like this stripping down of just so, you know, what, you know, they go stripping down of like culture and just like and just wiping out, you know, the Palestinian people. And just putting in this very westernized, you know, American bullshit, you know, and that has zero culture, but it's all just for land, and then also so we can have like a military base that's smack dab in the middle of the Middle East, where we can then like also transport for more weapons to other right wing groups in the area. So it's like, but yeah, like. But so they're totally fine with doing the slow genocide, but yeah, like October 7th
it's not that slow because they've killed 17,500 people so far, at least.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I mean,
at least.
But I mean, like
in Gaza, 70% of them are women and children.
Oh yeah.
Which is like real genocide shit.
Oh yeah, like they're doing a slower thing. Like October 7th now has accelerated that, and they're really just like bombing the shit out of them nonstop.
Yeah.
And really it makes no sense, you know, and you know, we have like America has always used like, you know, in all of our wars, you know, and proxy wars, you know, especially in Afghanistan, Iraq, and you know, using this idea of like of humanitarian aid, and we're doing this for humanitarian
exporting
reasons.
exporting democracy
and
humanitarianism.
And it's like I think it's very hard for really to spin this when you can materially see like, you know, how the Palestinian people are under, like they're being like they like Israel because of us has some of the most sophisticated weaponry in the world right now, and it's just being used on a population that is like so distraught, disbanded, and suffering,
and that are in basically a giant concentration camp,
and a population of most of which are under the age of 18,
right?
And because for so long they like adult men have been just like slaughtered, you know, and people are crippled by snipers, and yeah, it's just like, you know, you can't really like justify to the world that this is a just or right action. It's straight up genocide.
No, and it's weird to see people like defending the actions of Israel, saying like, oh well, if you're like against Israel, you're defending the actions of like people who like you know, women and children and stuff, and I'm like, I mean, if that did happen, that's fucking horrible. That's a war atrocity.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's war atrocities done by Israeli soldiers as well. And I've seen like videos of it and stuff, like kidnappings of children and shit like that.
Yeah.
So war atrocities happen on both sides. It's like, but you're pitting two armies against each other, one of which isn't really even an army. It's a guerrilla fighting group made up of at most a couple thousand people.
Yeah.
Versus, and people are like, oh, but they're backed by Iran. I'm like, I mean, they've got their support, but I don't know, what do you mean backed? Like, you know, they're against Israel. Nothing can get in or out, like, except for aid.
And I think like tying Iran into it is just a way of also just like beating the war drums for
World War III. Yeah, absolutely.
It's just, and it's definitely like a, you know, it's a losing tactic just to be backing them.
Yeah.
And because it's not something that resonates, you know, already people weren't, you know, resonating with the Ukrainian war.
I mean, the popularity of war doesn't matter to them, though.
Yeah.
You know,
it doesn't.
When was the last popular war that we had that ended up like polling well in the end?
Yeah. None of them.
Yeah.
World War II.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, but yeah, it's just like, yeah, like, but they're trying to spin it and put the liberal spin on it, where it's just like, where it's just like for this net good. I don't think anyone's really buying.
Yeah,
and I think it's actually, and I don't know. I think like going full force and backing of Israel. You know what America's doing. You know, Biden's not backing down from it. Nobody really influential in our own government is
John Fetterman. Sure ain't.
John Fetterman sure ain't. That guy fucking sucks.
Yeah, I'm real bummed about him, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's you kind of see like it's you know, like, you know, supporting, you know, support for Israel is also just like giving himself job security,
right?
Because it's a vote for, you know, defense contractors, for weapons. You know, we're just it's the people who
big
really
moneyed conglomerates who can like back a fucking presidential run or like a big senatorial run, like something fucking big.
And they're the ones that really calling for, you know, that really call the support for Israel in this, because it's like, yeah, they need them as their weapons depot and the weapons distributor and over there.
Right.
And so it's just like they're like, that's really who's calling the shots. And like, yeah, Fetterman just knows who butters his bread. And it's just like, it's just like, you know, I'm going to make a whole career out of this. Like, my brain's gone.
Oh,
like,
he's got like half of his brain is like a golden retriever's at this point.
His brain's totally gone. But like, you know what, that he just knows like he's just gonna get blank checks basically for the rest of his life, you know, and that are gonna support his wife and his kids and possibly get him, even though his brain is duck soup.
No.
He's going to
it's fucking pistachio pudding at this point, baby.
He's gonna win his
blueberry cobbler.
He's gonna win his next election, his re-election by a landslide. No. You know, he's gonna be one of those dudes, even though he barely knows where he is. He's going to be fucking
like in presidential talks. He's gonna
be the next Strom Thurmond, basically, just being like 90 years old still. He's gonna be the next Dianne Feinstein, just dying in office. You know, it's just, we're gonna be stuck with him for a while. He's showing that he knows how to play the game,
but at the same time, he's like pretty young.
He's very young,
and he's already had like a pretty major like incident. I don't.
We see that, you know. I
don't think with the stress of politics he's going to be around much longer if he stays in a high position, in a high office.
Yeah, maybe that's why he's going so hard with Israel, because he's like, look, I can
do a politics.
I can do a politics.
Hey, look at me, everybody! I can do a politics. Look at me.
Wherever's controlling him, like they tied the Israeli flag to him like a cape and made him.
Oh yeah,
it's just pathetic shit, and it's
I'm Zion Man.
It's completely it is awful, because like, you know, we live in a world, you know, where it's just like, for the ruling class, I think it is harder and harder to do. So like, I mean, they are effective at it, because you know, there are people who are diehard Israeli supporters, but enough real information kind of trickles in. You know, people. I think more people are educated through like actually watching the videos online from the source, they can actually see the reality of.
There's a lot of videos on both sides, but I see a lot of fake videos from Israel.
Yes,
like a lot of fake videos, and
the videos that aren't fake
are horrifying. And they're like, "No, look, we're treating them well," and I'm like, "No, this looks fucking horrifying."
Or like the videos that they because they're completely tone deaf, where it shows them in a bombed out Palestinian school. Taking an award for like academic excellence for children and smashing it, and then like just like
cool,
being completely disgusting. Like they're really just doing like straight up war crime shit.
Yeah, war atrocities.
War atrocities, and they're filming this, and it's hard to. And meanwhile, like we're being told. And we're getting so many mixed messages from I mean, I definitely get like nonstop posts on Twitter from the official Israel account, and at one point
I mean, what else are you gonna jerk off to on Twitter?
And it's like we're getting and I'm getting like posts saying like this is the worst murder of Jews ever since Hitler. Hamas is worse than Hitler. And then we're also getting like, Israel posting like thirst traps of IDF
soldiers.
Like IDF soldier babes that are just like posing and then also the other videos of them like straight up just like doing war atrocities, just like mocking dead children, mocking just the mocking of the Palestinian people. They're doing like brown face type skits, and it's just like how are we supposed to identify with this and feel sympathy for you if we're shown and and then on the separate side in the actual reality we're seeing like dead children, bombed out hospitals and schools, and it's like and we're seeing Palestinian people suffer on a daily basis, like, and cradle videos of like of Palestinians learning about on camera learning about the deaths of their entire family. And then you have like then you have the fucking like IDF babes
IDF anime
dancing.
Babes fucking doing a TikTok dance.
Dancing and doing brown face and just doing other racist bullshit, and it's just like, okay, you guys clearly see you're the villains, right? Like you are not garnering any sympathy from anyone in this.
No, they are from the United States of America and every single elected official except for like Dick Durbin and a few people.
Rashida Tlaib.
Rashida Tlaib and a couple people in the House of Representatives.
That's it. And that's the thing. Like we have zero power of actually like affecting a lot of
because our elected representatives represent too many people and they don't respond to us because we don't have fucking money.
We don't have money. We don't have power. And
I mean, I got power. I mean, you should watch me jerk someone off. I've got, my forearms are fucking. Working in a kitchen and playing bass for so long.
Your gooning claw is
you have no idea. It's a gooning hook, I'd call it.
Strong, but
the goon hook.
Strong but velvety.
Yes.
Yeah.
Behold my goon hook.
But yeah, it's like, and we're told like, and especially we're going to be, it's 2024 coming up. Just a couple weeks, and that's really when we're going to be starting. Like, it's the next big, election of our lifetimes. We got to choose between Zionist number 1 and Zionist number 2 for our, main head of government.
It's the guy who we know is going to do genocide, or the guy we were pretty positive is going to do genocide.
Yeah, it's the guy who made Jerusalem put the and so
repositioned. But that's a policy that like fucking Hillary Clinton had back in the early 2000s.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's like both of their their policies on Israel are going to be the same. And we're going to be still sending them $4 billion. We're going to be selling
$4 billion. That's pittance.
Yeah,
pittance.
And we're going to be sending them more weapons. Like it's going to be nonstop. Like we have they're just going to go through with this genocide, and we have no choice but to watch, which is like the most brutal and awful thing, I think.
Yeah. I mean, we do in a way have a choice.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there are material things we can do to affect change here. I think the first thing I'd recommend doing is finding the addresses of the top C-suite executives at weapons manufacturers, say your Raytheon, say your Boeing. These are just for example. I'm not saying these companies or their CEOs.
Yeah.
Lockheed Martin. So find their addresses and then
With a nice bow.
yeah, a little bow on top for
A
them.
little bow on top.
I think that would, send the message that it's a nice little present for them.
Yeah.
So you can do that.
Yeah.
That's a thing you could
They're the
definitely do.
ones who actually wield like political power in our country. And
They're the people.
they're
like,
the one drive policy.
most people don't understand, like, these people are lobbyists, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, lobbyists exist too, like people they pay to go to Washington and stuff. But a lot of times the people who go to represent the company are the C-suite executives.
Yeah.
Your vice presidents, your CEO, those people who are making the most money at the company are going and talking to these elected officials, greasing their palms, figuring out deals, things they can do to help them retain power so that both parties can retain power. Because power perpetuates itself.
And really, because it shows like they're just one party. This is all kabuki theater. It's like we just have the illusion.
It's bukkake theater.
Bukkake theater. We just have the illusion that something's changing. That we have some sort of like we exercise some choice.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah,
we don't.
voting matters.
yeah.
It's like to who? Because to Palestinians, my vote doesn't motherfucking matter. No matter who I'm fucking voting for
Nope.
here.
No.
I don't have a choice for like a pro-Palestinian representative that has any kind of fighting chance.
Nope. We can't. We have no say in where our taxes are
Yeah,
spent.
and I live in Washington in a liberal ass area.
Yeah.
And my representative still hasn't called for a fucking ceasefire. I don't know.
Nope. Yeah, there was a pro-Palestinian gathering outside of my apartment, and I went to, and yeah, we were all signing like a thing, and like calling representative to call for a ceasefire.
Yeah.
Nobody in Washington has. So
Very few.
Very few.
And kudos to those who have. Kudos to those not in Washington, other elected officials. I know a lot of elected officials around the country, including, I'm sure, like Shama Sawan has called for a ceasefire.
yeah, but yeah, because that's the most humane.
That's the only thing that makes sense. Why wouldn't you, is the question. Why wouldn't you say, hey, we need to stop firing rockets now? Why not? Why not call for peace?
A captive open prison population.
People who can't leave, and they're having the only thing that is coming into their territory is bombs.
And they get bombed when they're leaving.
Yep.
They're being told that they have to leave, and then being bombed and killed as they're leaving. And it's just sick. It's a sick fucking country.
It is. But you know who else is sick? The United fucking States of America.
Yes.
And this
I mean, really, it's the 51st state of the United States.
It is. Let's be honest. I mean, we got like Guam and stuff.
But the state that does whatever the fuck it wants and doesn't pay taxes, and it just takes all of our money.
Oh, so Texas.
Texas.
So here's an interesting article. The U.S. U.S. police agencies took intelligence directly from IDF leaked files show. So hacked police files show U.S. law enforcement for decades received analysis of incidents in the Israel-Palestine conflict directly from the Israeli Defense Forces and Israeli think tanks, training on domestic Muslim extremists from pro-Israel nonprofits and surveyed social media accounts of pro-Palestine activists in the U.S. A document leak of the Blue Leaks trove of internal law enforcement documents found no indication that this was balanced by information from other Middle Eastern sources or U.S. Muslim community groups. So it was just anti-Muslim stuff from the IDF, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
At the time of polarized reactions to the Israel-Hamas war in Gaza, it's more Israel-Palestine. They're not fighting Hamas.
No. Even though that's what they want you to believe.
Yeah, they're fighting civilians.
Yeah.
Without a fighting chance. The analysis raises questions about the scope of police intelligence gathering in the U.S. and the influence of Israel and its supporters on those efforts, and how this has shaped the treatment of activists and social movements, especially those who are pro-Palestinian. That's a great question. Like how would having a working relationship with the IDF as a co-intelligence gatherer and trainer, give you a different view on politically on this issue, because they're automatically, saying people who are anti-Israel are, criminal in some way, or terrorist related,
anti-Semites.
Yeah, and so, it's they say that police just need more training. This is the type of training they're receiving. Just giving them more money for training isn't gonna fucking help because they do the wrong kinds of training.
I mean, and really that's what we see with police training anyway. It's just they are gearing up for some sort of large
race war,
some class war, guerrilla warfare of their own, fighting American citizens.
Yeah, and
that's essentially what they're training for. They're training how to put down suppress civilian uprising.
Yeah, because they're there to serve the ruling class, the rich, and their property interests, basically.
And
as property ownership shrinks by private interests that aren't those enormous interests, they are protecting more and more of a smaller and smaller amount of people and their interests.
Yep. And what did they learn from IDF? How to be
racist,
how to
Islamophobic,
how to harass and detain people in open air concentration camps.
Yeah, for fitting certain profiles that are mostly just person who dislikes Israel and is Muslim. That's pretty much any sensible person out there who is Muslim.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's pretty bad. Pretty bad that we're letting our government do that and spending money on that training, time on that training.
And that's all we spend money on. It's war, police, It's just driving through the city is a nightmare, just how things, infrastructure has just crumbled.
Oh yeah, and everything's disgusting. And I don't know if you heard about, there was an apartment building, a 6-story apartment building in Brooklyn that collapsed today, and they're looking for people in the rubble and shit. And they were just doing a renovation on it, but it's it just goes to show you that a very expensive building to live in a very first world country, in the richest city and the richest country, has fucking slums that are fucking collapsing on people.
But New York City has a larger police force that is greater in number than most foreign militaries. And it's if you kind of look as to why things are crumbling around us, things that are easily solvable. Our bridges, we have constant bridge collapses. We just have this building was it the bridge or the building that collapsed?
It was a building. Yeah,
the building that collapsed. It's just and that's a secondary thing. It's going to be blown over in the news. No one cares. We're gonna hear a million things about all the crime that's happening in our country, or why protesters need to be air-holed by a militarized police force and shit like that. It's just that's what we got.
Yeah, well, this is kind of related. Semi-related article in depression. Semi-related depression. Jail populations are bouncing back to near pre-pandemic levels. Super. So, a report from the Justice Department's Bureau of Statistics reveals new information about more than 663,000 people held in custody in local jails across the country as of the first 6 months of 2022. During the COVID-19 pandemic, local jails and prisons released thousands of inmates early due to health risks posed by the disease. Now, jails are reporting that the population has increased since. Quote, though the jail population declined during the pandemic, by mid-year 2022, it was back to 90% of its mid-year 2019 size, said the Bureau of Justice Statistics Acting Director Kevin M. Scott in a statement. And this is just jails. So in the report released publicly on Thursday, updates the agency's preliminary estimates of the 2022 jail population. BJS released in September. It offers a peek at to who is detained in the jails. For the most part, the data reflects what a lot of law and criminal justice researchers say they have seen firsthand. Quote, it's very helpful to have this national perspective and national data because it shows this combination of factors. I think this type of data can be incredibly helpful to the work we do, said David Mohammed from the National Institute for Criminal Justice Reform. In the first year of the pandemic, the number of people in prisons dropped by 15% in 2022, and jail populations fell by 25% by the summer of 2020, according to the Prison Policy Initiative. So this is not good.
No, I mean, but it just shows like, you know, we're going back into what the plan is, you know, lock people up.
Yeah, lock up your excess labor, keep unemployment levels low, artificially low, because, you know, you have all these people going around and you don't have places for them to work. You know, they say there's so many jobs out there. There's not many that.
No, they just, but it's like all part of, the plan to, displace people, you know, physically and politically, you know, just like keep them from, you know, just have like this system of control that will completely just like destroy, you know, certain segments of our population to remove any sort of political power or anything that they have.
Not destroy them, keep them, you know, essentially enslaved.
For cheap labor, for prison labor, or for cheaper labor when they get released, and when they have a felony conviction and can't get most jobs, or
you know, people who are just born poor and can't afford any sort of education, can't afford to ameliorate their lives. You know, there's lots of reasons to end up in the lower class. And, you know, they want that because it's advantageous to them because they see things as a zero-sum game, which is why they, you know, hoard, you know, $4 trillion overseas.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's all we're good at in this country anymore.
It's hoarding wealth.
Hoarding wealth and
reality
TV and just segmenting our population into a larger and larger rift between like the lower class and the ruling class.
The haves and the have-nots.
The haves and have-nots. Like it's and because you look at all their actions and it's clear. It's just like, you know, the material wealth you're able to attain, you know, has reached peak levels. Like there's the people at the top. Like
truly absurd levels.
Absurd levels.
Amounts of like power and wealth and influence that you could not possibly use within your lifetime.
Yeah.
Like if it doesn't make sense to me. Like if you're that rich, why? I mean, you don't even need $500 million to have the most fabulous life imaginable.
Yeah.
Why not fucking just drop out and have a fabulous fucking life?
That's like the way the system is. It's like they have to keep. It's like still like they need to get blood from a stone. Like whatever's left has to be absorbed.
Because this is about control and power. It's not about money and enjoyment of their life. Because I mean, the enjoyment they get is fucking this sadist, fucking imposition of their will on society.
Yeah, it's large. It's just large scale vampirism. It's just like we're like our buildings are collapsing. Our roads are undrivable. Yeah, like we. Like the only money like we're allowed to spend in our publicly is for for the purchase of a police force that's designed to protect property, protect the ruling class, you know, and it's just very interesting, like, you know, like especially as you said, like the IDF training. it's like, you know, what did they have in the Bell riots? You know, they had like they basically had open air prisons, like you know, like Gaza became.
Yeah,
and it's like that's clear what the intent is, because you know they've already scrounged up so much, and like relenting any of it is like unforgivable crime. So so having their fortune seized from them is something beyond the pale, and I feel like even people, and people that are in our similar class would be appalled at if we were to actually seize that, you know, their wealth and use it appropriately. Like they would
but it would only advantage them.
Yeah.
Like it would only help them, but they don't see that as helpful. They see the system as it is helpful, because
and they would
their
think it was
life
a
has been
crime.
comfortable enough till this point because of the system as it is.
Yeah.
They don't realize that redistributing the wealth in America from the top to the bottom would make the average person 6 times as wealthy.
Yeah.
The average person 6 times as wealthy. If we did that with the entire world, it would make Americans twice as wealthy.
Yeah.
That's how great like the imbalance is between the haves and the have-nots in the world and in America.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, like instead we do have this system where it's just like, oh yeah, like letting them suck everything dry is totally normal and cool.
I mean, usually letting them suck you dry is totally normal and cool, baby.
Yeah.
Do it to me, suck it dry style.
Yeah, they're fine just like leaving us in the worst possible place, and and that's the thing. There's going to be a breaking point.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be Bell riots.
We can only hope.
Yeah.
Let's move on to a funny story. Tesla recalls 2 million vehicles over issue with autopilot.
That's one thing that I also see. It's like, it's just the autopilot is literally the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
It's just like, how is that allowed? Like, because it's like, I was watching one video.
Well, here's the thing. It isn't anymore. It got recalled, baby.
Did it? Yeah.
It got legally recalled. So,
Hells yeah.
Specifically a feature called the auto steer that's part of the driver assistance system. Tesla announced its voluntary recall Wednesday, providing details on which models are affected, what the problem is, and how it will be fixed. It was the autopilot-equipped 2012 to 2023 Model S, so basically all of them. 2016 to 2023 Model X, basically all of them. 2017 to 2023 Model 3, basically all of them. And the 2020 to 2023 Model Y, basically all of them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you go and watch those videos of guys beta testing or whatever the auto drive function on Twitter. Like, it is terrifying. There was one recently that makes so much sense that it was like there was a recall, because there was one recently in San Francisco. Like, these two guys are in the car and they're pro Tesla Elon guys,
right, of course,
and
they're in the bed.
But it's so sad, because it's like they're so deluded and this like dick riding for Elon. Like, this car almost kills them 4 times in this video.
Wild.
Like, you like, anyone's familiar with like how the streets are in San Francisco, and how like
very windy, very hilly.
Very hilly, and this car basically rockets right past, goes downhill, rockets right past the stop sign.
Cool.
And,
very cool.
And you see the guys are completely shook. They're just like gripping their chest, and they're trying to really downplay their fear, because they're being recorded. Then they're planning on posting this video, and just like, so they're really downplaying the actual fear they're feeling, that they almost died.
Right. Or maybe they just don't care to live anymore.
I don't know. The one guy in the passenger seat, like,
maybe they're like, they believe that if they like die in a Tesla, they'll go to like Elon Musk's Valhalla, or like Stovacor.
Tesla Holla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tesla
like,
Core.
Yeah. Elon Vocor. Yeah. But like, the guy in the passenger seat like has a very physical reaction, and then he tries to then like control himself. And
Do you think he came?
he probably did.
Or do you think he took a little pee-pee? And
his body was trying to to help him out and like give him a very pleasurable sensation before being T-boned and killed.
Oh yeah, like how like people like are like, oh yeah, if I was in a plane that was going down, I just want to fuck.
Yeah.
Really? You really think? Yeah, you think you get fucking hard as a rock?
Yeah, the body wants to feel good. It's afraid and it just wants to feel good. It wants to change the sensation. So yeah, like and this also in this video it shows it like literally almost like pull in full force into several cars. The self-driving function has to be like the most insane thing that I've ever seen like treated as an actual possibility.
Yeah,
because everything I've seen like has been dangerous, and it just feels goes against like can we put it actually against a real like driver's test? You know, like we have to pass a test,
right? And also like how much like revolves around the sensors, how clean they are.
Yeah,
like at what point is like mechanical failure acceptable as an excuse for an accident or for even worse a fatality?
Yeah, and in that video, like after two times after it almost turns into a parked car, they get out and clean the sensors, and it's just like,
oh yeah, great.
And it's just like, yeah, but like if your car were to kill somebody, you would still be liable,
right? And
that's why I want to be like, okay, it's like, okay, what's the point of driver's tests? What's the point of driver's practicums?
Yeah.
What are the point of all these exams we have to take? We have to prove that that for one, that we are able to operate the vehicle, and two, that we understand the legal liability of operating this vehicle.
And have a certain sense of humility when it comes to what a vehicle can do.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people, especially like new money, like coders and stuff, getting a Tesla is like their first vehicle ever, and are like, they think this is just like a thing that's always been. They're having a lot of hubris about it, and in as much there have been 982 accidents so far, at least, where apparently the autopilot was engaged.
Yeah, it's like, it's like, and that's why it's like, how can you approve? Like, it seems like no, and that's another thing. Like, just shows like the priority of like our representative government, where it's just like, you'd think this would be like a concern that citizens would have, that there's like a something that's basically it could barely be considered like self-driving. It's self-driving in name. I
think the big concern is there's like a robber baron that's sending death machines onto the road.
Yeah, and
he's like not being held to account for it at all.
Yeah.
They're just doing like a software update.
Yeah, like
calling it good.
But yeah, this guy's still this moron still able to then do a software update and then re-release these vehicles to go kill again.
Yeah,
it's just like
who the last software update was wrong. How is this one? Are you sure it's gonna be right?
Everyone's terrified of any sort of like action against this guy, and he seems like the easiest fool to stop if anyone. But again, like, you have to look at it like the way Elon makes money is his government contracts with Starlink, with SpaceX. Like, he's like, and
and Tesla stock. That's Tesla how he made all of his money.
And the EV credits that he gets for for charging stations.
That's how his company makes money.
Yeah.
His personal money is all in stocks.
Yeah. And so it's like, and his government contracts and stuff. So it's just like, okay, well, we gotta let this guy fucking do whatever he wants, because we pay him for rockets and and also develop missiles and for the Starlink and all this other bullshit. So it's just like, we got to keep him. We can't do anything against him, really.
I mean, that's what the government says, but I'm telling you. I'm not telling anyone to do it, but a private citizen could easily find Elon Musk's address with a bow on it.
One guy on Twitter pointed out
little bow on it.
Something with a little bow on it. Pointed out some really cool information is like the wheel guards on the Cybertruck. All 4 of those together, $700. They sell them. They easily pop right off. You can just pop them right off, and they sell online for $700. That's really cool information, I think.
That's pretty good to know.
So yeah, if it's like, I think if someone were to like be looking for some quick money or something.
Yeah. You know what else is really cool information?
Not saying that you should.
No, just like we're not saying that if you take a pair of needle nose pliers, you can just take the stems right out of tires.
Yeah.
Not on cop cars.
Not on cop cars.
Not on cop cars. You definitely shouldn't do that to cops' cars because it will greatly inconvenience them and ruin their fucking day.
Yeah, it'll make them really sad.
Yeah, it'll make their tire go flat and they can't refill the tire. Yeah. They have to replace it. Yeah. And if you do it to 2 tires, guess how many spares they got?
1.
1 is the loneliest number that you'll ever do.
And you know what? Also, it's like, I'm not saying anyone should, but given like how Cybertrucks and these Teslas are basically death machines that do not care, like it'll kill you, and then Elon will keep making more of them.
Yeah, it's an evil robot. You're allowed to fight it.
Yeah,
right?
this is basically like Terminator 2.
Yeah,
and like I think it's, if someone were to do it, like I'm not saying they should, but they shouldn't, also take the stems off Cybertruck.
right.
Because because if you think about it, it would be an act of self-preservation.
Right.
And just fighting against the machine, against Skynet.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying anyone should do it, but if we have any schizophrenic listeners,
Cybertruck is trying to kill you. The Cybertruck is coming for you. You must come for it before it comes for you, and defeat it in ultimate battle, or by fire, or by fire, or by fire.
Yeah, for our schizophrenic listeners. That's for you, Jim.
Yep, old James in the institution listening to
James. Listen to us, James. Wage war against the Cybertruck.
Okay. So next we got an article about our best friend, old George Santos.
Oh, George.
Old George, that queen.
Yeah.
So he criticized same-sex marriage days after the anniversary of his own same-sex wedding.
See, that guy, that's this guy. He just really wants attention.
He does. He's a huckster queen.
Yeah, he doesn't believe in anything.
No,
he honestly doesn't believe in a single thing.
He believes in serving cunt.
Yes, he believes in buying OnlyFans subscriptions and designer bags with government money.
Yep.
He believes in his own. He believes in his own self-preservation and his own like self, benefiting himself. Like he doesn't get, like, every time he says something, like you can see like when I think the day before he was kicked out, he was just like, there is only 2 genders. And it's just like,
cool.
And this is the way he says it is almost with like the way he says it, it's almost with a wink in his voice. Like he doesn't fucking care.
He's kind of he feels to me like a Milo Yiannopoulos character, not just because he's gay, but because he's an evil gay who will just say anything he can to get attention and some kind of clout and position.
Yeah, he knows saying that kind of stuff keeps his name in the news. It makes him. It gives him attention. It makes him like he knows what the pigs want, and he knows how to slop them.
He knows that he has like this will help him afford a better lawyer and get him a job on either a podcast or like Fox News or something the minute he gets out of whatever custody he's put in for a little while.
Yeah, he's if he does. Like,
if he does.
Yeah,
right.
like really his only crime, I think, in the eyes of the United States government,
serving too much cunt,
but also it's just like his crimes were too apparent. Like everyone in the government is doing exactly what he does.
Oh yeah. Like, they're wheeling and dealing and stealing and feeling.
Really, almost, and really, like the fact that he's paying for OnlyFans shows
that
like
rocks.
That rocks. That's probably
rocks.
That's better than what probably other fucking freaks are doing. Like, you know, they're probably like they're killing people behind the scenes.
They're fucking having like Eyes Wide Shut parties.
Yeah, they're doing 8mm shit.
Yeah.
They're
because that's how big their penises are.
Yeah. No, they're actually living the Nicolas Cage movie 8mm, and they're getting they're getting special movies made. Let me say that. Like they're doing like all sorts of shit, but that's the thing. Like
they're getting some video dome.
They're getting from they're doing it like quietly. Right. Like they hide it better. Like like so many elected officials were friends with Jeffrey Epstein and managed to keep that just like fucking under wraps. Yeah. And like, you know, we don't know what they did, but we're pretty sure we know exactly what the fuck they did. We're pretty sure exactly what they did. Fucking George Santos just couldn't fucking keep it in his pants, you know, and wait till he got on foreign soil with like people who also have influence and more power than him. Yeah, that's the thing. Like he was too public. He was too public, and he did it so alone. He didn't have any like friends in power that helped him do it. No, and that's the thing. Like, but doing it very publicly, like, because he was clearly using funds to enrich himself. It was evident from day one with this guy. Yeah. And that's the thing, like, you know, if one person's doing it, a guy who is like completely new to the job, you know, that leads scrutiny to everybody else. Right. And so it's just like they're just like, we gotta fucking get rid of this guy. Right. Because he's gonna ruin this fucking grift for all of us. And so he was a guy who had to like, he was too TikTok savvy and all that shit. So. Yeah, and he posed too much of a threat to the Republican Party as like a figurehead for a reason that I don't understand why they haven't gotten rid of like Matt Gaetz yet. Yeah. But like, what was the guy in the fucking wheelchair? Oh yeah, they got rid of him too. Yeah, they got rid of him. I think for a lot of the same reason. Oh yeah, he was going on saying like he was at the Republican sex parties. Right, the coke and sex parties. And they're like, we can't have him saying that, even though he wasn't invited. Like, I mean, who? Not to be ableist, who invites the guy in the wheelchair to the cocaine sex party? He can still suck dick. He can still. I mean, we saw the video of him playing gay with his friend for fun or whatever, and that was so funny how that was so gay. But he makes that accusation about the Republican sex parties, and instantly all this shit drops. Right, like they had that shit in the wings. Oh yeah, like, fucking that was in a fucking just like a flash drive in like some Fox News journalist desk forever. Oh yeah, like I'm sure there's somebody that has like compromise on every single person, and they know, and that's why most people fall in line with whatever like empire dictates. Yeah. And but if they go off script. That man's name? Sean Hannity. But yeah, they know they're not supposed to go off script. And yeah, George Santos very much reads to me as someone who went very off script. He was too flamboyant of a personality, and also gay, and which they don't like in the Republican Party. Yeah, like even though they're like, no, we're inclusive, and they do want like fucking gay people in their party that they can fucking tokens they can trot out and be like, see, we're tolerant, we tolerate them, Oh yeah, when I say he's flamboyant, I don't mean because he's gay. But you do also. I do he's also flamboyantly gay. He's flamboyantly gay. And he's flamboyant because he's gay. But he's also flamboyant in the way he was so just like open with the crimes he was committing. Right. And so like, and that's the thing, like if he had been like, and yeah, as you said, like they want their tokens. And so yeah, he's a gay person of color in the Republican Party. Right. And so it's just like, he could have gone almost to the presidency. Yeah, he could have gone if he not to the presidency. Maybe not to probably not to the presidency, but he could have gone pretty fucking far if he had just kept his nose down and not done any like I think he was on the elevator to the top almost. Right. If he had kept his nose clean and not been so just openly like telegraphing to the world that he's like using the campaign funds for illegal shit, like, but he was all out there with a little too Gucci there. He's a little Gucci bear. Yeah, and so yeah, like, I mean, he's gonna try to milk whatever he can now. I mean, he's got especially like, a big old cock. Yeah, he was. Yeah, I saw.
Do
He
you
was
think
like,
he's a bottom or top? Switch. Verse.
what's his husband
Side.
look like?
I don't know.
I don't know. I think he kind of curious. Yeah, who knows? Could probably be a switch. I can also see him being a very, if not a top, a power bottom.
Yeah, he seems bratty.
Yeah, he does seem like a bratty bottom type dude.
His husband, his husband. I think Santos is definitely the top in this situation.
Yeah,
he's got a little twink husband.
Yeah, he's got a twink husband.
Little twink husband. Everybody loves a twink husband.
Yeah, like, but yeah, I mean, he's definitely. I saw that he was being interviewed by Zawe. I think is that her name. Like she kind of does funny interviews. But like,
most famous probably for the Colin Hanks one.
Yes.
White Boy Summer.
That was amazing. Like her reactions to him were incredible. But like, but yeah, he's doing like the talk
was
show.
that Colin Hanks or was that
Colin Hanks? Yeah.
Was it Colin? I thought Colin Hanks was a good one.
Oh,
what's the other one?
Chet Hanks.
There you go. Chet
Yeah,
Hanks.
I'm sorry,
Thank you.
yeah.
Sorry. No disrespect to Colin.
Colin's great.
He's one of the good Nepo babies.
He was fantastic in the first season of Fargo.
Right.
I really liked his arc. Like he's great in everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was Chet Hanks. But yeah, like I know Santos is doing. He's doing like the cameos.
Oh, I bet. I bet.
Yeah, and I saw someone being like, "Can we please not be, because like, there's people, ironic people on the internet paying him to say funny stuff.
Of course.
And someone's like, "Can we please stop paying George Santos?"
Good
left to stop paying him. But like, but yeah, I mean, he's gonna secure some bag of some kind.
Yeah, he's gonna get his bag as much as he can before he maybe goes to jail.
If he does,
yeah. The thing is, like, I'm wondering if his bag is gonna be snatched up by all these legal fees. Because I don't know if you heard, like, Kyle Rittenhouse is broke.
Yeah.
Broke.
Yeah, I mean and I think that also speaks to like we prop these people up with very kind of just temporary income, like Kyle Rittenhouse was like also had.
But he was a millionaire for a while. He must have just burned his way through that. He must have the funniest coke dealer ever. It was just like, yeah, it's $400 a gram, and just sells him fucking like table sugar.
I'm sure he was also very susceptible to all sorts of scams and grifts.
Oh, 100%.
Because the moment he got that fucking money, like all of the like right-wing coffee
he probably
guys
gave it all to Israel.
yeah. But also like all the right-wing, coffee dipshits and everyone else has been like, oh, invest in my blah blah blah, and probably like fucking took him to the cleaners.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I'm also sure. I mean, he doesn't have like a job. Like he's someone, and really like propping him up to this sort of like legendary status is did do him a disservice because
he does have a job. He's a useful idiot.
He's a useful idiot. But yeah, it's like, but that only takes him as far as like his name recognition goes. Like he's yeah, I mean, now it's just like no one cares that much about him. I'm sure whatever money he did have is now in the hands of some coffee grifter.
Yeah, no one like. He can't make money like doing a tour or anything because inevitably wherever he shows up is going to be fucking protested by a lot of people.
Yeah, and he has nothing to say.
Yeah.
Like he's just
I killed some guys. Duh.
Yeah.
Freedom guns.
Like he's a complete dullard. He's just like this, you prop him out and what can he say? He has no charisma.
He has a story we all know and we've heard a million times.
Yeah, he has a story. It's just like what's his name? The guy who shot Trayvon Martin.
George Zimmerman.
Yeah, another fucking freak who tried to capitalize off his infamy and just like he was like a complete monster and just generally. Obviously he was like already, but it's like it's just like his monstrosity is just like exposed to the world, and it's like when you do, it's like you put a light on him and you see like there's nothing identifiable there as a human being. And it's just like nothing that anyone can attach to, and he's not a public speaker. He has zero charisma. He's just a creep. He's a murderer. And it's just like, okay, well,
and it wasn't even like cool murders. Like some murderers are like cool.
Yeah.
And some murders are fucking cool.
Yeah.
Talking Shinzo Abe.
Yeah.
The guy
was something actually done with a political motive
that succeeded. Yeah.
Fucking Rittenhouse is just like shot random people on the street.
Yeah.
Like protesting, with the Black Lives Matter or whatever. And he's just like, he has no politics other than like what he was, just some own guns.
Yeah, he was protecting a car dealership that no one asked him to protect.
Yes, and he was completely aimless and just there
protecting property.
Yeah.
For what? Why? No one asked you to protect that property
because he wanted to play soldier and he wanted to murder people.
Oh, weird.
It's just like so yeah. There's zero. Either he's a completely empty-headed goon, and so it's just like it's like. And I think there was a genuine attempt to make him some sort of right-wing public figure.
But he doesn't have the fucking riz.
He has no riz.
He's got no riz.
He's got no riz.
He's got no jizz.
He can't talk on anything because he doesn't believe in anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was someone who was, like, congratulated and rewarded for doing something awful.
For doing something reprehensible. Something that should have landed him in prison.
Yeah. Like, and then you're just gonna.
And I'm a prison abolitionist. Like,
you're just gonna give him a bunch of money, and then like he's gonna get like his trophy wife, and then like just be surrounded by like nothing but grifters and con men, and
Oh, he's a fucking mini Mike Lindell.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'll tell you. Yeah, you hear?
Even Mike Lindell can like has a belief system that he, that as skewed and mental as it is, like it's still like something that he believes.
But I mean, what he believes is like what the last grifter told him.
Yeah, he can still like talk about things. Like you put Kyle Rittenhouse in front of the camera, and it's just like a blank slate.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's like it makes sense that like he's joining like sort of like the same trajectory as George Zimmerman, just like fade away into obscurity and poverty.
Yeah, become like a Wikipedia article that's like very long, but still no one really knows who you are.
Yeah, and George Zimmerman was going around, signing bags of Skittles and shit. It's like a fucking shithead, fucking absolute piece of shit. And so, hopefully, Kyle Rittenhouse is also quickly fades into obscurity as well. Like, it's someone, we don't need to be.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
I hope he fades into a large body of water.
Yeah. Who knows? He might just, someone, I think, his wife will probably put a hit out on him and
he'll collect that money that ain't there anymore.
Collect the money. He probably has a huge insurance policy on him.
That's true.
Yeah. I'm sure he probably does have really good insurance policy because, given the fact that he's,
public enemy number one. So I bet some insurance guy was just like, you want some insurance? Yeah.
So like, I'm sure he has a big amount of money on his head, and wife will be there to collect.
We can only hope.
We can
only hope he has a large insurance policy. That's all we got to say. That's Soy Trek's official position. Yeah. We hope Kyle Rittenhouse has a lot of life insurance.
Yeah, but his wife will probably also like give the money away to some coffee grifters as well. So
she'll start her own coffee company.
Yeah, she'll be giving it to like just like
the White Rifle Coffee Company.
Yeah, the White Rifle Coffee
for white people.
For white people. Yeah, or like non-woke conservative dog treats or something.
Oh yeah, we love that.
Yeah, the only dog treats that aren't woke.
Yeah,
these dog treats say I love America.
Yeah, those purple-haired teachers like begging strips and sausages, and we're here to say fuck that.
It's just them taking like dried processed pig parts and putting them in like fucking bags, and that's it.
Put liberal tears on it
and it makes its own gravy.
It's like the pig refuse that's like in the dumpsters, and they just like dry it out, they pocket the rest of the money and sell 4 bags of conservative non-woke dog treats.
I think that's a great place for us to leave it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Be well. Travel. Thanks for hanging with us, Soyagers. Yeah. Thanks for hanging your ding dongs and your tallywhackers and your vagina lips.
Your snazzes.
Your snazzes, your doodads, your doodaloos.
Your do moms.
Your do moms. Your zippity doodads. Your beignets. And
Your Ben Gays.
Your beignets and your Burt Bacharach.
Yes.
All of those things. They all come in different shapes and sizes, and we love them all.
Yeah.
I put my
motherfucking mouth on any of them, baby.
This is coming from the Cherry Tomato Boys.
Don't. I'm not part of that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for checking with the Soy Boys, Girls, and Overly Beans. Hang dong and shocker.
There can be only one, like the Highlander. There can be only one moon, only one sun, only one daughter, only one father.